Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Well, today we're going to talk about the most interesting part of this, or my PhD, which is the implementation part. But we're going to start with the methodology first. We finished in the second part the formulation and the first part the terminology. So, true performance principles. Now, we're going to talk about the true performance principles or true performance rules. I had to say it like principles, but it's basically rules. It's not. These principles has to be satisfied in the. Excuse me. I feel nervous. I don't know why. Nobody's watching anyway, so I don't know why I'm nervous. But true performance principles. Okay. The full connection between user satisfaction requirements and business process requirements is a must. Now, when we saw the user satisfaction pyramid, we had the satisfaction first and then the categories, the levels, the framework. Okay. So, if we are talking about the user satisfaction specifically in this perspective or this PhD perspective, then we have to link between the user satisfaction requirements, which is the user satisfaction categories, and the business process requirements, which is the framework requirements. As we said, if you use the APEC.org framework, we said that the linear progression contains the user satisfaction, the business satisfaction, and the product satisfaction. And we said from the hierarchy that you can directly link between the user satisfaction and the user satisfaction product satisfaction of the user, or the product satisfaction of the business, or the product satisfaction of the product. Okay, so the connection between user satisfaction requirements and business process requirements is a must. The performance implications of the user satisfaction objectives, satisfaction categories, satisfaction levels, the framework itself, and this is, I think, the first time we're going to see this variable. This variable as it shows, because the framework is a linear progression. Okay, let's say here's the sales. Okay, now the sales is step number 3, so the B will be 3. But then this is cross disciplinary, but this is the interdisciplinary. So the interdisciplinary will have still linear progression of main route and then subroutes. So the main route would be Y, the subroutes would be Z. Of course, you can expand after the Z. But this is the so satisfaction categories, satisfaction levels, the framework of the indicators of performance. Why is that? Because when you have the linear progression, you're going to have indicators of performance by your choosing, or you take the indicators of performance, which we have discussed before, the key result area indicator. Even you can have them inside the process classification framework of the business of the product linear progression. Okay, so again, the performance implications of the user satisfaction objectives, categories, levels, framework, over the business process, which is the user framework. So the framework here represents the actual linear progression, but the user framework here represents the actual manifestation of the user satisfaction over the framework. Meaning, uh, uh, let's say the product has variables. Okay, the variables like height, color, price, whatever kind of data. Now, this data does not have any meaning of satisfaction to the user except when the user react on it, feedback slash response. The feedback will give you direct feedback of this, give you direct performance feedback, but the response will be a click. Okay, over the product data, which is in the website, as you're going to see, and the interesting, totally mind-blowing, changing everything about the how we present our website's interface. Okay, but again, user satisfaction objectives over the business process and vice versa ensures the system process accessibility. So this, you can look at it at the user satisfaction pyramid, but this is like the framework, which is the linear progression of the product satisfaction pyramid, but it is like was, if I say the smell of the product, can you put the texture of the of this, let's say, over the net, if the texture is okay or not, or the smell of this perfume? No, you can't. So under any circumstances, you cannot put the smell of a perfume into the product satisfaction requirements. Okay, therefore the user will never have satisfaction categories or levels or framework over the smell of the product. So if you cannot represent the smell of the product on the website, you cannot have a feedback slash response over that variable. Okay, so this is a relationship back and forth between the user satisfaction and the business process of the product satisfaction, and vice versa. This ensures the system accessibility from any place to another. So now we ensure that the business can talk to the product, and the product can talk to the user. This is the vice versa bit. But in our PhD, we are talking about the user satisfaction, product satisfaction, and the business process of the product satisfaction. So we are talking here about the business process satisfaction from the user satisfaction objectives, not from the business satisfaction objectives. Okay, it's like talking to Amazon. So this is the Amazon, and the vice versa part is like the Volvo. Okay, any given feedback must be given as a weight and score. So now this is totally, so any given feedback. So even if you give me a number, you're gonna have to give me a weight and score. This means if you give me a weight only or score only, I cannot have, let's say, objectives, semantics, or requirements, semantics. The score is like, okay, let's not try to make you go away from me. But then, if you have one of these, it would be syntax. If you have both of these, it's semantics. Okay, so if I say 1 again, or let's say 20, but I say like it's 2%. You say no, I don't like it. If I say 20, it's 90%. So you say, yeah, that's a lot of performance. So I think the 20 represents a lot. So I can agree on it. Okay. Any given feedback must be given as a weight and score. True performances, satisfaction, or satisfaction categories, or satisfaction levels, or satisfaction framework must maintain the original definition of the performance evaluation for all perspectives. For the user satisfaction process classification framework, evaluation process uses weight. So satisfaction categories weight, satisfaction levels weight, framework indicators weight, satisfaction framework, and the satisfaction. So I have the weight and the satisfaction. So I have the weight of the satisfaction categories. I have the satisfaction of the satisfaction score. Okay, this is the score, this is the weight, this is not satisfaction. Okay, satisfaction level score, score of the, yes, and the user indicator satisfaction. Okay, and the user levels. I think here it's supposed to be a B, right? Yes, just like this one. I forgot. Okay, feedback. Where the normalized weight is the normalized weight and normalized score is the normalized score. Okay, the perspective evaluation given is. So the perspective performance here is the user satisfaction performance equals sigma normalized weight and normalized score, as we're going to see on the sample selection. Okay. So now the perspective itself, I have to normalize it, then multiply it, then adding all the normalized weights and normalized scores for the categories, levels, framework, whoever had a weight and score. Okay, because if you have, let's say, a presentation of the product, data or information, okay, and is there, you have it in your website. So now the representation is there. So it takes one, okay, but if you multiply it by the satisfaction weight or score, but if you didn't respond to it, so the satisfaction weight or the score might be